I'm against teaching young children that they get to decide what their gender is. Particularly in a large portion of my adult life, I had body dysphoria, but of a different type. With me, it was all about wanting to be heavy. I wanted to be bigger. It wasn't that I wanted to be the opposite gender. When I finally got to my weight goal, I quickly realized it was a terrible mistake. Almost 20 years of my life was spent thinking that I was meant to be heavy. It was only near the end of 2017 when I had the realization that, oh shit, I really fucked up, didn't I? And I probably cut off at least 10 years of my life expectancy as a result. There's probably nothing I'm going to be able to do to get those future years back. Imagine how we would react to children saying that they want to be fat, that they were meant to be fat. Would we coddle that? Or would we tell them that that's a pretty outrageous and unhealthy thing for them to want to do? Would we tell them that their goals are unhealthy? I hope we would. How about an anorexic child saying they're too fat when they're actually skin and bones? Would we tell them that they're fat, or would we tell them that they're skin and bones? We have trans activists demanding that doctors no longer assign newborn babies as being male or female. We have trans activists declaring that parents are abusive if they don't put their kids on puberty blockers, if those kids declare that they're the opposite gender of what their biological sex is. We have trans activists demanding that we put trans activism in elementary schools. They want children to think that gender is completely a social construct, that they shouldn't buy into the idea of there being male or female, or I should say man or woman, to be more accurate, right? They want children to believe that gender is actually just a totally fluid thing, and that it has no connection to their biological sex in any way. Essentially, they want children to be confused about their gender at a very early age. Imagine if people were declaring that morbid obesity is actually just as healthy as being a regular weight. Oh no, I said regular weight. Oh, that must be hateful, right? Oh wait, that already happens, right? Now, fortunately, that's not happening in elementary schools, but you never know what the future might bring, right? I think it's totally fine to teach kids that some kids have two moms, some kids have two dads. I have no problem with teaching kids that some people are attracted to other people, because it's about attraction. It's not about someone's perception of their own bodies. Transgenderism has nothing to do with attraction. It's all about self-perception. It's literally a warped view about one's own body and the need for others to share in that same, I guess you could call it, delusion, for a lack of a better word. I will call people the gender they wish to be called, even if it's Zim or Zer or whatever. I want to reduce confrontation as much as possible when dealing with people, but I'm not going to just suddenly change my viewpoint about this, no matter how many activists try to guilt trip me over it. I will never buy into the notion of non-binary genders. You're either male or female, but so you'll shut up about it and not call me a bigot, I'll call you what you want. Are you happy now? No, you'll never be happy until I fully agree, march lock and step with your ideology. I'm supposed to side with an ideology and things that make people feel good rather than science. Sorry, it's not going to happen. Yes, trans people deserve the same rights as everyone else. You should be able to use the bathroom of your choice. If you've had bottom surgery, you should be able to use the locker room of your choice. If you haven't had bottom surgery, you should either stay away from locker rooms, or you should use the locker room that matches your genitalia. Or you shouldn't get undressed in locker rooms. What I really can't stand about so many trans activists who are trans, especially male to female trans activists, is that almost everything that it means to be a man is severely criticized, far more than anything that you saw in the Gillette ad. It's this notion that the world is evil, that men are raised to be evil, that doctors are evil, and that the only way to stop the evil is to call it out continually. and constantly. To insert those notions into our education system, into our entertainment, and to all forms of media. I reject that notion outright. You get to have your rights, and you shouldn't be treated like shit just because you're trans. But you don't get to demand that everyone buy into your ideology. Sorry.